Aurania Resources, copper, gold, silver, lead and zinc, all in Ecuador, plus the Peruvian option. Keith, Aurania Resources, a very interesting company with gold, copper, silver properties, and maybe you can give us a short insight into the company or overview.
You bet. Well, we're working down in southeast Ecuador. The property is huge. It's 208,000 hectares. We've been working on it about 3.5 years now, and we've found an incredible number of targets. As you say, copper, lead, zinc, silver, and gold. And we're going to be drilling the copper targets starting end of next month, August. And situation is just looking really good. There is no other company out there with this many targets, this collection of targets. It's extremely robust and very, very positive.
Fantastic. And before we come to the copper, because the copper looks to me a little bit more like the key thing now here. You started more with gold. Can you maybe give us shortly the story on the gold?
Well, the company's, the original premise for the company goes back a long way to '98. And actually I started with a professor of history. He introduced me to some old maps. There were 2 gold settlements from the 1560s. They're very, very rich. They're still lost. There was another one like this that had been abandoned in 1603 by the Spaniards after a smallpox epidemic and lost to the jungle, and then refound in 1981 by 2 boys hunting wild pigs in the forest. It ended up producing over 2.7 million ounces of gold in the modern era, right? So this is not just a treasure hunting story, but that's what got me into this area. Now, I started up my previous company in 2001, was working 100 kilometers to the south in the same belt. Actually, you can see it here.
Which is Fruta del Norte now, right?
Fruta del Norte, yeah. Fruta del Norte went into production last November. A hell of a win, and my old company went up 10,000%. It was bought out for $1.2 billion Canadian. So fantastic win for the shareholders. And I was the largest shareholder, thank you God, and provided me with the seed money to start this venture. And so now we've been at this for about 3.5 years, and now a lot of the heavy lifting is done. So now we're at the stage where we bring the drill in and we start drilling the targets.
What have you done with your exploration approach? What have you done different? Let's put it that way.
Well, there's 2 kind of hats for this. The first one is chasing down what we call the lost cities, and but that figures into the whole technical side of it. So we are proceeding with the exploration as you would anywhere else, or if you're competent anyway. Very, very technical, very scientifically based, and very methodical. Not just like randomly walking around and saying, "Hey, eureka, we found it." No, it doesn't work that way. No. Works like that in Hollywood, but not in real life. It's a process, and one step builds on the previous step, and it goes like this. So that's how we find things. But we've found an incredible basket of targets. Many things here that the Spaniards would never have found. They were never interested in copper, never interested in lead, zinc, just precious metals. But we found more and more and more and more. So it gives us a lot of optionality because we can split the project up. Now, this is only the one project. We've also applied for 400,000 hectares in Peru, which is the continuation of the belt over the border. And that gives us an option on Peru as well. So, we're trying to do this in the smartest sense possible.
Super, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so COVID-19 held you also, of course, back from work. Now you are coming back to work, and now the emphasis is on copper, which we see here already behind us.
Yeah.
And why is copper now so of interest for you? And maybe you can give us a bit of an insight and also a view onto your targets and why you have so many and why this is so important.
We were always going to get to the copper story. We started working on the gold story fairly early, but where our main gold targets are, and we've already had one round of drilling on them. That's in an area which is along the national road, and there is COVID there. So we've decided back away from that for a little while because we've got so many other things to do as well. And the target where we're going to start from is quite remote, and it would be a helicopter fly-in, fly-out. So that way we can control the access to get into the area, and it's just a better situation for us, for the indigenous people who live in the area, protects them, protects us. So that's what we're doing. However, it's just taken time. As I said, it's an iterative process. So one step builds on the last step, and it's taken time for us to get to the stage with these copper targets. Now, the first one, well, we did an airborne survey. The very first thing when we got the property, almost 4 years ago, we spent $1 million on that, and it showed up all these magnetic targets on the map. And copper porphyries usually contain a mineral called magnetite. And guess what? Magnetite is magnetic, right? Highly magnetic. So it shows up as bullseye magnetic targets when you do an airborne survey for magnetism. That's the way it works. So we've got all these targets. We've actually got 31 of them on the property. 8 of them we've investigated on the ground. We know what they are. But the thing that's really, really exciting about this is that the first one that we're going to drill, Senken 2, has got evidence of potential for copper blanket. And copper blanket, it's a little bit technical, but basically what happens is the top of the porphyry system is leached by rainwater in a tropical setting over millions of years, right? The copper migrates its way down to a level where the old groundwater table is, fluctuates up and down over time, but it's basically there, and it ends up forming a flat-lying zone that we call a copper blanket. And that copper blanket is typically 3 to 5 times the grade of the underlying porphyry. The porphyry's still there at depth, right? And this is a bonus zone up on top because it is shallow, it is high grade, and that is your payback zone.
So that means from the size, it could be that large that you easily say, okay, we start with an open pit and we can like repay already all our debt, which we needed for the whole project.
All the capital cost.
Yeah, all the capital cost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pay down the debt and then you just keep going. That's what happened with Escondida. Now, Escondida is the world's largest copper mine, and I'm not saying we have the world's largest. Wouldn't it be nice if we had? But in any case, why it was super lucrative is because it had copper blanket at the surface, or very close to the surface, and very, very easy to extract. And so quick pay back all the loans to build the mine, and then just keep going down. Right?
Fantastic. And this is where you put now all the drills in, right?
We've got one drill to start with. It's a portable drill. It's easily moved around the jungle. It can drill about 200 meters. And that's all we want, because we're also going to test the copper and silver in the sediments, which is all around these porphyry targets, right? This is in shales and sandstone, almost flat-lying, gently dipping. And this is the stuff that looks like Kupferschiefer.
That's the stuff we have in Poland also.
That's right.
The KGHM is the company called,
That's
right?
exactly right, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
So to ramp that up, the interview, the real emphasis this year now with the drilling starting is on copper, right?
For the time being, until we get the all clear with the COVID situation, then we will get back to the gold in addition to the copper. So we're not going to, keep switching back and forth. We'll be try to do everything.
Fantastic. Keith, thank you very much. All the best. And I expect a lot of news flow then for this year.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Keith Barron, the chairman and CEO of Aurania Resources. And you heard the 208,000 hectares of land in Ecuador. That's 2,080 square kilometers, almost 5% of Switzerland. And the emphasis now is really going on to copper. And we like the company a lot, of course, because there's a lot of potential and a lot of stuff will really come up here with a lot of news flow in the second half of this year. And let's see how it goes, we keep you posted. I'm your host, Jochen Steiger, Commodity TV in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Thanks for watching us and bye-bye from Geneva.